position, we have Faith Kipyegon from Kenya. We have Jennifer Simpson from the USA in the silver medal position, and Semenya from South Africa in the bronze position. So we're going to open the floor to questions. Please wait for the microphone. Yes, gentleman here.
Hi, Jonathan Gould here from Let'sRun.com. Question for Casta. I'm wondering, do you regret not racing more 1500s coming into the championships? And how much do you feel like you can improve tactically in this event?
Obviously, for me, it was just all about getting an experience. I'm still 26. It's all about growing into middle and long distance. I think it was a wise decision, taking this gamble. It will always be something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. Winning once it's fantastic. First, 1-5, in the world stage, and being able to overcome that. It's quite an amazing race, and congratulations to Faith and Jenny. They ran a fantastic race. They move like rockets. I was like, oh, what's this? But obviously, it's just fantastic, having a great team, surrounding me. I would just like to give credit to them. It has been an amazing journey.
Another question right in the front row, please.
Jenny Simpson, congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell us about the race.
Oh man, I was standing on the starting line and I just thought, be a mountain. Don't be shakeable. Just be totally calm and totally tough. And all week my coach has been talking to me about some of the nuances of what it takes to be good here, because everyone's fit, all the hard work is done, all the fitness, you have what you have. And so it can come down to who can be the feistiest. And Heather Burrows is one of my two coaches that's here this time. Mark Wetmore has traveled with me in the past to the championships, and she's the perfect one to be putting those thoughts in my mind about just being feisty to the end. And then, I can talk about the race, but mostly, it comes down to the last 100 meters. And last night I turned on, it's hard for me to watch a lot of the meet when I'm kind of focused in on my races. But last night I turned on the television right at 9:50 to watch the women's 100. And I saw Tori be so courageous and that lean at the line. And that's what my last 100 was. It was just running my guts out and leaning hard at the line. And I thought about that a lot today, about Tori's race. And so I just tried to, Team USA, just try and get every centimeter all the way to the end.
How did you move on the inside? That was amazing.
That's really unusual for me. I don't know that I've ever, in a race ever, the last 100 or 200 meters passed on the inside, but one of the things that Heather is really responsible for was reminding me that when you make a decision, don't hesitate. And so I came around the curve and I was a little bit behind, and I saw people kind of for just a nanosecond, I saw people break to the outside and saw that line open up. And it's risky, it could have closed, but I didn't hesitate and went for it, and it worked out.
Other questions? So in the front row here, Rosie.
Jenny, I know you mentioned that the Olympics here in London were rather a disappointment for you. How did you feel about the redemption here on this track?
5 years ago, I was a different woman and a different racer, and I had the World Championships, having won in 2011, on my shoulders, and was new to having to shoulder that kind of pressure going into a championships. And just, I was younger and a lot less experienced, and so to come here 5 years later, that's been a lot of the questions I've been getting is about the evolution of my own racing in the last 5 years and what it means to come here again. But standing on the start line, my coach reminded me, this is my 17th 1500 meter race at the World Championships. And with that comes 17 different opportunities to learn how to do this the right way and just get those little things right. And so, whether it's your 13th or your 1st or your 17th, whatever, just take what you can get and take that confidence to the starting line. And so I was thinking about that during the day. So 5 years later, here, a lot smarter, maybe a little fitter, and with a lot of experience to make really good decisions in the race.
Gentleman with a question?
Congrats for the medalists, Semenya, Faith, and now Simpson. Faith, within 1 year, you've won 2 precious medals, Olympics and the world title. You also won in the youth and junior. Is there something left for you to do? And you're still young. Is there something else left for you to do?
Yeah, what I can say is that I'm so happy today I won here. And this is my first gold medal in IAAF World Championship. And I thank all athletes who we were competing together, like Simpson and Semenya and Kenzebe and Sevan. So it was a really competitive race, and I'm so happy I won today.
The first day you arrived here, you were limping in the first training session. Last night, people were worried about your leg. How did you manage to do it?
Yeah, I really did. They really did a good job to me. They did massage and everything, so I was well prepared. And what I did is just to remove in my mind that I have small problem, so that will not. It didn't disturb me a lot, so I was well prepared, and I thank God for that.
Semenya, congrats. So for you, we've seen you rain in the two-lap race, 1500 meters. So which one for you? Will you stick to 800 or will you go on with the 1500?
Of course, I think this is just the beginning, when we talk about middle distance, it's a combination of 8 and 5. So from where I'm coming from, it's all about being matured, maturing into the other event. I have 2 laps, so I have to add 1.5 laps. So for me, I think this is just the beginning for my future. You'll be seeing more of me 8 and 5. I'm sorry about my friends here, so but you'll see more of me. So yeah, I enjoy all the challenges. They are fantastic runners. I like challenge. Always in my training, I always train for 4, 8, and 5. So for me, trying to spice up with this event, I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, I think I can do better in future. So yeah.
There's a question at the back.
Semenya, my name is Bernard. My question to you, Semenya, is of late we've seen South Africa doing well in athletics. What is the secret behind South Africa?
I don't think there is a secret. We work hard, you understand. I think in sports, we experience a lot of things. We have sprints, we have distance, we have everything. We have been good in middle and long distance. But over a period of about 6 years, we implemented more of good coaches. We have like expos, we have coaching clinics. So I think for us, also athletes, we're hungry enough. We just work hard and try to do better.
Okay, just at the very back, you want to fill it?
Jenny, I wonder if you could just reflect on the tactics of some of the athletes tonight. You obviously seem to run a very bright last lap and came through very strongly. 2:17 and 800. Some might say that played into Caster's hands in terms of a slow race, and she finished much the quickest over the last 300. Did some people, I know you don't like criticising fellow athletes, but did some people get it wrong tonight? Did Laura Muir get it wrong? Did Hassan get it wrong? In terms of burying themselves in different parts of the races and playing in the hands of some of you guys?
In fairness, I get such a limited view of the race when you're in it. But you sense a lot in your surroundings. So I'll have really strong opinions, especially once I watch it, when I see it myself. But from my perspective, what I can give you just from my preparation and then what I experienced in the race. So I remember the gun going off, and I was kind of surprised and a little bit pleased to see Laura go straight to the front, because I thought, this is the race and I mean, this is just purely my opinion, this is the race she should run. She should get it going hard, and people will go with her. And a hard race, she's run 3:55, so a hard race for her is really hard for almost everyone in that field. And so the first 100, 200 meters kind of thought that was what was going to play out. And then I don't know the splits, I'm just kind of responding to the race. I sensed that it slowed down from that point, which again, I kind of thought that she was going to take it hard. So then when it slowed down a bit, we're very much within ourselves. I'm sure I didn't see because I was in second or third or fourth, but I'm sure the group bunched back up again, because you see that a lot in 1500s. And then from that point, I was just telling myself, this isn't the race from Rio, where I was 6th or 7th with a lap to go. If we're running this slow, and it doesn't take off, Dibaba was really the one who jumped with 800 meters to go last year. And so I just remember in the race thinking to myself, you have to stay close, you have to stay close, you can't let him go, can't let him go. Because it worked last year for me to be 7th or 6th with a lap to go. But that doesn't always work, and you can't bank on that working. And so I just tried to keep them close. And when we came down the backstretch for the final time, I really saw in front of me Hassan and Faith racing hard. And when you can see people racing hard, you just have to measure your own ability and hope that somebody comes back to you. And so I truly don't remember who all was in front of me or behind me at that point. I just remember seeing those two and thinking, keep running your race because somebody might come back. And then we get down to the final stretch, and like I said, I remember thinking, if you go to the outside or go to the inside, decide and just go for it. And then probably the last 80 meters of the race, I don't remember very well. I just remember finishing and waiting and waiting and waiting to for the board to come up and tell me the truth so that I knew for sure. For some reason, and again, I'll have to watch it, when I crossed the finish line, for some reason I thought I was either 2nd or 4th, and I don't know if I was 2nd or 4th. I knew I wasn't 3rd, I was either 2nd or 4th, so I really waited for the confirmation, and then I don't even know how ridiculous I was afterwards. I just was really excited to see I was truly 2nd. Thanks. Gentleman here, please.
You talked then about much more to come from you and planning for the future. How easy is it to plan for the future when, even as we speak, the IAAF are trying to put together a very strongest case they can to bring back rules on testosterone?
Obviously for me, I plan more on short-term goals, so I do not think about something that will happen in 8 months or anything. So basically what we do, we focus on being healthy and doing what we do best. I hear you mention IAAF, so those are the things, issues that I don't focus on. It's none of my business, it's their business. So my business is to train hard and see what I can come up with in a competition. So for that, I'm not really quite interested. Those are the lyrics that we've been singing since 2009. So sometimes you get annoyed or you get bored. So, but like I said, I focus more on being healthy and doing better for myself. For that, come on.
But you say it's not your business, but it could become your problem.
Not really, not my problem. For me, it's a past. Whoever who is busy with it, it's their business, not mine. I'm not even bothered, if I may say. You understand? I'm quite of a person who doesn't really focus more on negativity. I'm a positive person, and I look at things into a positive way. Obviously, as a human, you understand, you get to a point where you just focus on you understand? So, like I said, I do not work for IAAF. I'm Semenya, I'm an athlete. I focus more on my future, you understand? So for me, such allegations, if I may say, they are not my business, you understand? So for me, they do their job, I do my job. I do me, they do that. So come on. I have no problem with such things. Like I said, I'm focused on my future, on what I do. I'm a businesswoman, I'm a student. These are the things that, I focus more onto them. I'm about to be a graduate. That's the thing that I'm focused on. So such situations, they're just a waste of time for me. So I can't really put my mind on them.
Okay, another question right on the aisle. Right there. Go to Matt.
Faith, did you change your strategy because Castro was in the race?
Sorry?
Did you change your strategy at all because Castro was in the race?
No, what I knew was Semenya was there, Sifan was there, and everybody was there. So it was just how somebody did the training, and I was prepared, and also she was prepared, and everybody was prepared for this race, and everybody was going for the gold medal. So it was a good race.
This question is for Jenny. We've seen both of these women to the side of you have run fast on the Diamond League circuit. I know when you were here a month ago in London, you ran a pretty quick mile, but generally that's not something that you're concerned with, chasing fast times during the season. I'm wondering, when did you and your coaches decide on that strategy and why?
Yeah, I've run a couple of races this year that were really disappointing to me, and it was a rockier start, kind of similar to 2016, where I just had kind of just some things go wrong. Pre was a real disappointment for me, and that's usually kind of the race of the season that kicks me off for the rest of the summer. So I did have a rocky start. I wouldn't say that my race here in London for the Diamond League was one that I was particularly proud of. I made some mistakes that I think cost me being 5th instead of 3rd, and so that was a little bit disappointing. But that being said, from the very, very beginning, Mark and Heather and I made some decisions to try some things a little bit differently, and they warned me that I might be ready later in the season. And so we took a little bit of a gamble, but I trust them implicitly once we make a decision. And so it was a little bit, like I said, it just didn't go 100% according to plan. I got sick once or twice when you wouldn't expect that and plan that in your training. But I am so grateful for having the experiences I've had along the way, because that played a big role in me still being able to come here and feel confident, even though I didn't have the buildup that I would have wanted. So the Diamond League, for me, didn't go as smoothly, but I came here knowing what indicator workouts mean, knowing what different times I wanted to hit at practice, so that I could come here and say, I know that I might have looked a little shaky early, but we really whipped it together and were 100% by the time we got here. And going through the rounds, I felt really strong. I hope I looked good and looked strong, because I really felt that way. And so coming into the final today, even Heather said, you were kind of surprisingly confident, but we just had a good plan, and I really believed in it, even though it didn't show up, in my opinion, early in the season, in the early season races.
What was the gamble? You mentioned a gamble earlier in the season, the decision you made. What was that?
So we made a couple of little changes to training, which are things that honestly my coaches know a little bit better than I do. We took some really heavy workouts out and tried a few new things, and really projected the fitness of my season a little bit later into August. In the past, I've had some really excellent races early in the season. I've run really well at Rome earlier in the year, really well at Pre earlier in the year, and we just risked being more ready later. And so hopefully now going on to Birmingham, I'll be able to run really well there, hopefully get enough points to go to Brussels and have a good Fifth Avenue mile. So yeah, I feel like my fitness is still coming on. Whether we mirror this year again in the future, I'm not sure. We'll have to sit down at the end of the season and decide. But yeah, you have to change things if you're gonna keep getting better. You can't just do the same thing over and over and over, because your body will stop adapting. So we just tried something different. There are some things we might not continue to do differently that we did this season, but yeah, it was just a little bit different, and it was tough early on to really trust the process, but clearly you come here and win a silver medal, I'll look back and say the process did its job.
One last question, the lady in the secondary, sorry.
One more question to Casta. Sorry that I'm asking again, but the decision of the CAS can mean that the IAAF is allowed to ask you to take a medicine that will change things in your body. Do you think that is fair, and would you do that?
I have no time for nonsense. So medication, no medication. Look, I'm an athlete. I don't have time for such things. You understand? So for me, it's their own decisions. Like I said before, my focus is more on for me getting healthy and compete. I really don't have time for nonsense.
Right, I think that's probably the final question tonight, because we've got another press conference coming. Thank you very much, ladies. You've had a long day, and I know you've got buildings to go.